I'm not surprised, motherfuckers.
What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to Courtside Soundoff podcast. Once again, I'm Josh Soundoff. As always, welcome by the one and only man of the hour, too sweet to be sour, my friend and yours, Angel Ortega. Look, guys, it's a big week. Big week. The last pay-per-view of the ESPN era. The last pay-per-view preview, unless we get like 10,000 subscribers or something, of the Courtside Soundoff podcast, unless we're forced to stay on.
Unless somehow, like, some big time money comes in.
Yeah, literally. Jokes aside, very big week. The Oklahoma City Thunder are 21-1, one of the best starts in NBA history.
Is it the best? Has someone had something better? I'm sure people have definitely had undefeated.
Golden State started 29-1 whenever they broke the record. So OKC 20, and I could be slightly wrong. It could be 27-1, but yeah, it's one of the best 5 starts in NBA history.
They could be on pace to match it or beat it.
Yeah, and in case you're unaware, we also might potentially have the first overall pick next year. We have 2 picks inside the top 10. So, shout out to the Clippers. shout out to the Clippers, who this morning released Chris Paul as if 40-year-old Chris Paul was the reason why they were.
Are there Clipper fans? Have you ever met a Clipper fan? Like, I'm not saying in an offensive way.
During the Lob City era, it felt like they were like. They had fans and like they had their own identity, but that's the only time I can ever remember them.
But then they also played in the same arena as the Lakers for a while there.
Exactly, but like that was the Lakers. They sucked. They sucked to that point. Like that was the end of Kobe whenever he had no help. You know, like they had the Lob City Lakers of Blake and CP3 and all that, and they were actually they were good. They were fun to watch. And then really outside of that, no, because it's just been them just signing wash guy after wash guy and just trying to build to something, and it's never going to work.
They had like when they did have Shea, right? Because the Clippers had Shea.
They had Shea for 1 year.
When they had Shea that year, and they had Zubac, and they had some other pieces, like that team was actually kind of decent.
I remember they made the playoffs, and they weren't expected to make the playoffs, and they faced like the Golden State, and they got swept. But I think like they had a better year than expected.
By the way, I do think LeBron getting rid of all the younger guys was a big blunder on his part. Like he should have just dogged it out. I think he should have dogged it out with Lonzo, Ingram, Julius Randle, Zubac. I do think he should have dogged it out.
That's a bad take.
I think he should have dogged it out.
They
ended up winning.
Yeah, I was gonna say they won a chip. Doesn't really matter.
But I do think I will say the only thing that did benefit from that is a lot of those guys did get a lot of individual like growth and find success out of Lakers. Like Zubac ended up, which they weren't playing Zubac, and as soon as they realized Zubac was good, they traded him, which I guess ended up benefiting them. But it was kind of sad. And then Julius Randle is fucking killing it at the Knicks. Obviously, it hasn't come to end. Like none of you guys have been able to produce anything. But individually, though, they've all developed their status. Lonzo for a while there was having some good moments. Fucking Brandon Ingram now kind of turning up a little bit. Obviously, still not. I think where people wanted to be at.
Yeah. Well, I was gonna say for me, like I don't think that's the issue. I think the issue is that after they won the chip, I don't want to say blew up the team, but they dropped a lot of those key pieces and they signed Russell Westbrook.
Also,
and
they were old too.
It was an old team, but I feel like they could have ran back that squad and had a much better shot.
All I'm saying is I am heartbroken. Like I'm not saying it would have been the right choice, but I think LeBron and the kids was actually a fun thing.
I thought LeBron and the kids was fun for the 1 year that it happened.
That's what I'm saying. I want to see it longer.
But like they only won 41 games or something. Like they were not a good team.
But they could have. I mean, you got to develop these guys.
But like, but like it's LeBron James just coming off. You're gonna maximize
the Lakers, and they want to win it. And they only had
so much time. Granted, he's been around longer than I think people thought. But a conventional wisdom, 2019, like you have the option of getting Anthony Davis, and you're trading back Lonzo and a couple. And then again, like I don't even think those guys have really worked out to the point to where like it's benefiting over a prime Anthony Davis who helped win a chip. Like that makes no sense to me.
No, I mean they were able to get rid of him. I don't think it's a bad
awful take.
I don't think it's a bad take.
Worst take you've ever.
I'm not saying they would have found success. All I'm saying is I think it was a fun team to watch, and it's.
I know you hate LeBron,
and I think he should have. I think he should have dogged it out for fun. Genuinely,
for fun.
I do think he should have dogged it out for fun.
It's about winning, brother.
You're not wrong, but sometimes I don't know about you, dude, but like there's teams that I've watched like throughout time in different sports where I'm like, this team might have not won, this team might not have had success. But for what they were, I genuinely enjoyed them. And granted, it's because they're not my team, for one. That's another thing.
That's a big part.
That's another thing. Outside looking in, obviously, I think if you're like part of that organization, you're passionate for that team, you want to see them succeed. There's been several times throughout my life where I watch other sport, like, and I watch these guys, and like I don't necessarily, but I'm like, dude, these guys are fun to watch. Like this group of guys, I enjoy watching play. And like I shit you not, like that core 5 of like Julius Randle, Zubac, Lonzo, LeBron, and fucking Jordan Clarkson. I think they did have him in there, and whoever. I think they fucking had Beasley there at one point too. As like one of the other bets. Like genuinely, there was something compelling to me to watching LeBron be forced to play with young guys and kind of make it work and see if he can make something out of it that was interesting.
Yeah.
And it to me, I was down to see that, and the fact that it was just kind of like La GM time. It was kind of like, we're back where we always were.
Yeah. Winning titles like LeBron James.
Winning
does.
titles?
Yeah.
Fucking one title with the team.
He won, he's won 4 chips though. Is my point. I know you hate LeBron, but like that's it. That's you shit on the guy for not winning, but then he wins the chip with AD, and now that doesn't count.
The Mickey Mouse ring?
Huh?
The Mickey Mouse ring?
The Mickey Mouse ring? Yeah, dude. If the Suns bitch ass would have actually made the playoffs that year, I'm sure you would not be talking about the Mickey Mouse ring.
I would have come up. It would have come up, and I would have had to defend it.
No,
I'm not gonna deny it. I'm not gonna deny it. I'm not gonna sit here and deny it. I'm not opposed to, dude. I am not opposed to being truthful with myself either, dude. I'm not ignorant to myself.
I mean, you just have a hard on for hating on LeBron. I mean, it just is what it is.
It's kind of fun though. It's kind of fun though. It really is fun though.
Yeah. You know what's also fun? Betting on BetMGM. Betting on BetMGM, because that's the reason why.
Dude is just sad that I had a fun take and he didn't like it.
Oh, dude, fun take.
I'm not saying they would have been successful. I never said they would. I'm not saying, dude.
Yeah, but like,
I'm not saying LeBron was going to develop a championship caliber team with that team. That was never in my line of wisdom or of due diligence.
I mean, you like the team.
I like the team. I like the team. I don't know if you ever did you ever like a team like college football wise or anything?
There are tons of times. There are teams that I ran. For example, like fucking Pistons of Blake Griffin.
I shit you not, dude. Like, you know what's funny? I think I told you this. Once the Sun's good, I quit watching them. But there was a part of me that genuinely liked that original lineup that was fucking Eric Bledsoe, Brandon Knight, TJ Warren, Devin Booker, Tyson Chandler. Like, I have like genuinely fond memories of that shitty ass team.
Yeah. No, I feel the same way. Like their team, like for example, like it's not.
I could give 2 fucks about the team that made it to the finals, and I care more about that OG team. I shit you not.
Well, dude. I mean, that's the same. I feel the same way. Like for example, like whenever the year after KD left and it was Russell Westbrook just putting like with nobody and just putting up.
Dude, I'm talking about enjoying Jared Dudley. Who the fuck ever enjoyed Jared Dudley in the NBA?
I mean, I get it. I get it. You know? I get it.
Like,
well, that's one of my favorite Thunder teams is the year that like all the guys that are currently killing it were young and we won like 20 games because it was just young Shea, young Lou Dort. Fucking, we didn't have J-Dub yet. We had Poku playing at power forward. He wasn't very good, but he was fun to watch. Like.
Dude, and not even just that, but I also enjoyed like the Tyler Like I enjoyed that.
Tyler Ulis.
He had some key games. I mean, he was never gonna stick around, but I loved it. And he probably only got drafted there because Booker was there, and they were college teammates.
They were boys, yeah.
Fucking when Dragon Bender had that godlike game against OKC.
Holy shit. Yeah, he put up like 30.
His best NBA game against OKC. That game lives rent free in my head because I watched it. And I was like, maybe Bender is it, dude. Maybe he'll work out.
The coolest name. Dragon
Bender, dude.
Dragon Bender
against fucking just sauced up Carmelo Anthony, Paul George, and Russell Westbrook.
I mean, to be fair, everybody was saucing up fucking Carmelo and PG that year. Jesus Christ,
it was just crazy in hindsight.
Yeah, he put up 6 3-pointers and career high 20 points. Yeah,
he just had a solid game, dude. He was on point.
Yeah, I mean,
only if he could have kept that up.
Even going back to that, dude, you brought up PG and Carmelo Anthony. We won more games, I'm pretty sure, with them than that fucking year where we had MVP Russ, where he was just doing a hard carry. But like that year was just not as fun. Like it just wasn't as fun. Like
I'm telling you, there's just times where like it's just like something I enjoyed this for what it was.
Exactly. Like
dude, another team that I enjoyed that ended up fucking disappearing, and it was because of injuries. Was dude, I call it. I'm gonna get in trouble here, but fucking Twin Towers, dude. DeMarcus Cousins, Anthony Davis, dude.
Yeah, no. That is one of those ones that I stay up at night in a cold sweat.
And it's like, what if DeMarcus Cousins did not get?
What if he didn't get hurt? Because I remember that year, like that was whenever the Warriors had KD, and I was like, dude, the only way you're ever gonna beat Warriors with KD is if you just have. Because the only issue that the Warriors and them had was they did not have a strong center. They did not have they had KD at the power forward, but like he could be muscled around.
They had to like pull someone from overseas that year, right?
They had
to pull out Zaza Pachulia from overseas, right?
Yeah, they had Zaza that year. They had Zaza, and I think they also had Anderson Varejao at backup. Like
I don't even know, but
they had nobody.
I remember the center position was a big hole in there.
And I remember thinking, like, dude, I don't think the Pelicans could beat the Warriors that year, but I remember thinking, like, dude, if they play them in the playoffs, like, their Cousins is gonna make it fucking close.
One of the biggest tragedies in NBA.
40 points a game. Yeah, dude, it's one of those ones I think about because like that was the only time that like DeMarcus Cousins had any real help either.
Also, it's like the only time that I can remember there was two bigs like killing it like that. Like, you think
such good scoring options too. Like,
well,
not even just like
they were consistently both putting up like pretty high numbers, high rebounds, high assists.
And that was AD whenever he wasn't getting hurt all the time, and he was good on defense too. Like, he was actually trying.
And they were playing power forward and center. These guys were not playing big man guard, they were not playing fucking shooting guard. They were playing power forward and center and winning games.
I'm also pretty sure that that's the year they had Rondo and they had.
Oh my God, yes, Rajon Rondo got some crazy assist games because of that.
And I remember, who was it? Oh my God, there's one more. Was it Drew Holiday or some shit? Like, they had somebody.
It was a fun squad, dude. I'm telling you, that was one of my favorite teams. It just I didn't get to see them maximize their talent.
God, yeah, I remember whenever fucking Boogie went to the Warriors that year too. Like, next year after he took. Luckily, he was washed by that point. But my God,
could you imagine if he was good?
yeah, they played 48 games. They had Boogie, they had Jordan Crawford, Anthony Davis, Drew Holiday, Rajon Rondo. Like, they were really good for like the first part of the year. They eventually made to the conference semifinals and they lost. God, dude, I forgot they even played the Warriors. Fuck me, they played the Warriors in the playoffs that year, but they had no Boogie and they lost in 5. They had Boogie. Who knows?
At least a game, right? They might have taken at least a game or two.
I mean, they did take one game. They took one game with AD, just AD.
Oh, shit. So, they definitely could have taken 2 then.
And dude, I was
minimum 2.
I was willing to argue to the death that year on like r/NBA. I'm like, dude, if the Pelicans face the Warriors, it's gonna give them problems. It's gonna give them problems.
If they're healthy,
they're healthy.
Well, I mean, it wasn't they weren't healthy. If Boogie was there.
If Boogie was healthy, yeah. God. Yeah, shout out to Twin Towers. Anyways, BetMGM, folks. If you follow the link down below, you get $1,500 in bonus bets paid back if you do not hit it on your first entry with BetMGM. Very, very exciting time in sports. It's the NFL playoff race is heating up. I don't want to talk about the Kansas City Chiefs this week, but that's why I brought up the Thunder. 21-1. Statistically speaking, you're not gonna need that bonus bet to be paid back to you if you just bet on the Oklahoma City Thunder, or if you bet on Shea Gilgeous-Alexander over 20 points a game. There's so many things you can throw on for the Thunder. Good times. But also, there's also a big UFC card this weekend. UFC 323. Like I said, the last pay-per-view of the ESPN era. Alhamdulillah. Going down Las Vegas, T-Mobile Arena. Really, excuse me. It's the UFC 20. Let me rephrase. It's UFC 323 pay-per-view brought to you by Steak. So what was it? Yeah, the last card was by V-Chain. Now it's by Steak.
By the way, I can't wait in a week here to cancel my ESPN account. Actually, I can cancel it now.
I already canceled mine. I canceled my ESPN Plus.
I can, and plus, dude, you saw they're doing like a deal for Paramount, $2.99 for the first 2 months or some shit like that.
Dude, Paramount, they have really good deals. I think I've got mine a few months back. It was like $1.99 for 3 months, something like that, just randomly. So yeah, man, excited to finally be moving on to the Paramount era. I gotta be honest with you, like, before we even get into the preview, I feel like we can almost eulogize the ESPN era right now because, like,
we kind of have to, right?
Yeah, I mean, Jesus Christ, like, I remember going, years ago when they announced UFC was going to ESPN, and obviously, like, you can't look forward into time, and I don't think people knew like how much social media was going to start to dominate lives in the way that it has, and traditional cable has started to die off, and now there's just streaming service for everything. It's like cable's back, and there's influencers. But can we agree the ESPN era like kind of blew? Like, I feel not all of it was bad, but think back to the 2019 to 2025, and think about in the years preceding that, whenever they were on Fox Sports and on pay-per-view and doing different things on Fight Pass and yada yada yada. I feel like the UFC did not get as big of a benefit. In fact, I feel like if anything, it shrunk the sport because you've locked so much behind this, not one but 2 paywalls. Like, what do you think?
I think I think the highs were great, and I think the lows were terrible.
Yeah,
I think that's probably one of the best ways to put it. And also, another thing was like the amount of like pressure, or I guess forced to put out content more, because of the ESPN deal. Also didn't help, so I think that also kind of watered it down, which I wouldn't even necessarily blame the UFC too much on that. To an extent, you can, because they could have maybe made a deal, been like, "Hey, we don't want to do a card every week. We want to do a card every other week, or twice a month at the start of the month, end of the month." Which I think that also definitely probably played a factor, and maybe would have got higher quality stuff, especially post mid era, where we were getting a number of Apex events, next to no events outside of the Apex, and then if we did get events outside of the Apex, they were and they were just pay-per-views in big cities, which I mean that's what you're always going to do. But yeah, and even now we still have Apex events, and I mean it's fucking crazy to say, but next week our final MMA preview is going to be, and it's kind of sad, but it's also so fitting. Like Josh said,
that's
it's
exactly
going to be
what I
a
mean.
Apex flyweight main event. Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with that, but it's like they couldn't flip these two. Where this week was Red Ball Cape, which would have made sense knowing that this main event that we're gonna have, or co-main event's gonna happen with the 125ers. You know, like it wouldn't make sense to have the flyweights and Cape and Red Ball fight this week rather than the next week, in my opinion.
Yeah, exactly. Like to me, you know, it's very fitting. That's all I'm gonna say. It's very, very fitting that the last card of the ESPN era. And by the way, like somebody asked Dana about it recently, and Dana's reasoning was like, you know, do you not like I'm on the road all the time? Do you not want me to go home? And I'm like, dude, you're $1 billion corporation. Like, is that really your excuse for why you're still putting on fights in an empty warehouse that nobody sees? Like
I said, man, and even if that was the case, it's like, and if they want to save money, it's like, dude, I don't know why he doesn't just build his own arena, make a deal with the casino.
Dude, literally, like there's casinos in Las Vegas. Like I bring it up all the time, but it's funny because they're fighting this weekend. But Dvalishvili and Yan, like that first fight night, like 2 years ago, like they put it in,
and it was such a vibe.
They put it in the Palms Casino or some shit, and it had like 5,000 people. Not much, but like that's enough. That's enough to have like a really
for a fight night.
Yeah, it almost felt like an old school because UFC used to do that like a lot. Whenever I started watching, I think they would put little shows in the casino in the Las Vegas area.
Like if the UFC somehow built like a 12K arena,
yeah, that'd be sick. The UFC arena.
Just
put it down the street, you know, like
the UFC Steak Arena.
You don't even need to have it be in you don't need to have it be in like the PI or you can build your own arena. Like
next to the PI too.
Do tons of things.
Have a museum connected to it. They could do a whole thing to generate even more money.
Put the UFC Hall of Fame there.
An open merchandise store too for people to come in at any time.
Dude, you're cooking. You're cooking.
Like it's not. There's something there, and they have the resources to do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Dude, for God's sake, dude, they shut down their fucking like headquarter PI thing that they had in Canada.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They have a PI in China, dude. You know, they have a PI in Mexico. They're fucking burned down and had to rebuild. You know what I mean? Like these guys can do this, you know what I mean, and maintain this stuff. And they would run events regularly out of it. And it would be like a commodity for Vegas. You know what I mean? It's like this, like it was already the fight town, but it's definitively the fight town now.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, even to just to kind of like close it out, like the ESPN era, like it's such a perfect way for it to end. Like genuinely, like something with so much hype. Yeah, I mean, I knew like we were cooked all the way back in 2019. They're like, yeah, you'd have to have ESPN Plus in order to buy the pay-per-views. I'm like, oh, dude,
that is insane.
Like that's literally.
I'll never forget the first time when I found that out. Like when all the boys started hanging out, and I didn't have ESPN Plus at the time yet, and I was like, wait, you need to have ESPN Plus to buy the pay-per-view.
You have to buy something to buy something.
And I'm like, what?
Yeah, I mean. That's why going into
and then they increased it in fucking price.
Whereas the cards were getting worse
later on.
Yeah. I mean, look, I'm excited for the Paramount era for that reason alone. I'm happy that I won't have to pay money for pay-per-view. I'm happy I'll have to pay less because I believe Paramount's less than ESPN anyway. So it's like
and you can play for I think the year subscription. I think they got it's like 119
it's
119 for the year.
Not bad at all. Now we'll talk about the Paramount era like fight announcements in a bit. But we do have one final pay-per-view to preview. So for the last time, pay-per-view preview, UFC 323 going down Las Vegas, T-Mobile, Nevada. I just fucked that up. Going down Las Vegas, Nevada, T-Mobile Arena. Thank you. In the main event, we know the story. Merab Dvalishvili, dude, he is going on. What will this be? Fight number 4 this year. Correct. Fight number 4. Beat Umar Nurmagomedov in January. Defeated Sean O'Malley in the rematch in June. Defeated Corey Sandhagen in a really fun fight back in October. And then you said, you know what? I want to get one more in. So he's going to be doing it against Petr Yan, the former UFC bantamweight champion. Going to be 33 in a month. You kind of got to assume at this point with some of his recent injuries. He had that 3-4 fight losing streak recently before he went on this current run. You got to wonder, could this be it for the former champion? Definitely make the argument. He has won 3 in a row. Granted, you can argue the competition. Song Yadong, very good, but I feel like we're still waiting for Song Yadong to kind of break through. Still in that sort of top high-level prospect range. Divisa Figueiredo, who I like a lot, but has looked washed to the heavens as of late. Makes sense because he's almost 40 at bantamweight. Held on for a long time, but now looking a bit old. And then Marcus McGee, really fun fight, but a guy who's not even in the top 10. Has Petr Yan done enough in the past 2 years? Because they did fight over 2 years ago, March of 2023. He lost on the scorecards 50-45 across the board, maybe even a 50-44 in there, if I remember correctly. Has Petr Yan done enough to show you that he can be competitive? and a fight with Merab Dvalishvili. Do you think Merab is gonna, do you think it's gonna play out the same way as the first fight? I guess would be a question.
I don't think it shouldn't play out the same way again. I feel like it's been so long now that something you would imagine something would have to change. You can only go up from here because the original performance was so bad.
That's true. Yeah.
It's like you can only do better. If you do worse than that, that's actually crazy. You know, so I imagine it'll be better. But at the same time, he beat him so decisively, and it was such a big margin. You imagine it's probably gonna be the same thing. And the guy's on point now. He's getting finishes. Didn't get one in the Corey Sandhagen fight, but Corey's a tricky guy, especially on the ground. Has tricky submissions. So he works for Ryan Hall. Dangerous from that 50-50 position. Look, I feel like right now Merab's worst enemy is probably himself because he's been so active, and we already saw it last year what too much activity can do. And look, Merab has a fucking third lung, from the looks of it.
Yeah, literally.
So he might just come in here, be fine, take care of business, and it might not be a big deal. But I mean, if he does lose here, I think it will raise some questions of like, was this much activity in a year too much? And on top of that, look, after this fight, I mean, he's in these conversations. I mean, he might arguably be, and I was a hardcore Dominic Cruz defender for a long time. Still kind of am. But, he might be in that conversation now for potentially go bantamweight. You know what I mean? He's going to be setting some records. People are talking about like the amount of fight title defenses he's having a year. Dude, they brought it up on MK, but the amount of title, I think this would be his third title defense. And I think just 6 months or less. I can't even remember. Which that in of itself is a crazy stat, let alone with the other title fight in the same year.
Yeah. I mean, here's the thing, man. Like, I think I agree with everything you said. I think in terms of this fight, I don't think it's going to play the same way. I mean, if you look at the betting odds, I think they're pretty accurate. BetMGM minus 450 for Merab, plus 350 for Petr Yan. I think that's pretty, it tells the story right there. I do think the activity, it could be somewhat of a concern, especially at the top level. I feel like if you're a Kevin Holland type guy and you're fighting guys not even in the top 15, it's one thing to fight 5 times a year, 6 times a year. But, I mean, you're fighting Courtside Soundoff and Umar Nurmagomedov and Sean O'Malley and now Petr Yan. Like,
that's an insane run.
The elite of the elite. Like, if he wins this fight, you can make a case for this being the best year in UFC history. I mean, I don't know if I necessarily agree with it, but you can definitely make the case. I mean, 4 for 4 over some, like, incredible names. I mean, what would that be? Like two former champions in there. Like, I've handed Umar his first loss and so on and so forth. I think you can make the case. I'll say, I think he's going to get the job done. I like Petr Yan a lot. I think he's going to give him some trouble, especially early on in the fight, which I don't think is necessarily come as a huge surprise. I think it's probably going to take round 1. I think he's going to go out there and try and bust him up, use the boxing, push him back, try and get some of that damage out in the early rounds. Because I think now Petr Yan with 5 rounds with him, and he kind of knows what to expect, and he also showed that he has the gas tank to go 5 rounds with a guy with Merab, but just it's hard to keep him off on you in the late rounds. So I think he's going to go out there and try and maybe get it done early or try and pick up some of those early rounds. I don't think it's going to work, man. I think Merab's going to end up just taking him down and controlling him. I mean, this is a guy that I love Petr Yan a lot. Very fun guy. Boxing is excellent. Striking is excellent. Very tough. But we have seen him getting controlled multiple times in high-level fights now. So I'm going to go and take Merab. I'm assuming you're with me on that one. Yeah. Fun fight, though, and I will say, as much as I like the main event, and I do like the main event, I mean, I don't think it's going to be very competitive, especially late. I think, I expect Merab to win 4 rounds to 1, if I'm being honest. Maybe 5-0 again. A more competitive 5-0, but...
Do you think he finishes him? Huh? Do you think Merab can finish him?
I think he could. I don't think he will. That's true. I mean, that's the best way to put it.
I don't think.
I like Merab, but
I believe Peter's never been finished. This is I think a stat.
That's what I'm saying. He's, and also, I mean, Merab has 17 decisions out of his entire career.
Yeah, so a hard guy to finish and a guy who doesn't have that many finishes.
Exactly. Like, could he finish him by breaking him down and being, possibly, absolutely? I think he can. Will he? Probably not. So, I like the co-main event more than the main event, though. This is my main event. This is the people's main event. It's it has fight of the year potential, but it's if Alexandre Pantoja wants to take it there. The Cannibal, 30-5. You can make the case, in my opinion, that he is the second best flyweight of all time. In fact, I don't think it's much of a case.
I feel like it's pretty cemented. There's not an argument anymore for that.
I mean, yeah. I guess the only other guy you could argue would be Cejudo, but even then, I feel like you'd have to factor in his bantamweight run.
Yeah, but we're talking strictly flyweight.
So there you go. Alexandre Pantoja. We know the story here, folks. 5 flyweight title defenses. Kai France, Kaya Sakura, Steve Usyk, Brandon Royval, Brandon Moreno, Alex Perez, Brandon Royval again, Manel Cape, Matt Schnell, Wilson Hayes, Oka Sasaki, Brandon Moreno, Neil Ciceri, Eric Shelton. The UFC resume is incredible.
Pretty much all the relevant flyweights in the last 10 years.
Basically.
Except Mighty Mouse.
Yeah, essentially. But don't worry. He's taking on the 24-year-old Joshua Van of Myanmar. 5 wins in a row. And you want to talk about activity. This will be Joshua Van's 4th fight in 2025. He's coming off the win over Brandon Royale. Fight of the night. Fight of the year contender, dare I say. Just to spoil for a few weeks. That fight with Brandon Royval in June was incredible. He won by decision. He stepped up after fighting 3 weeks previously, and he had the face-off with Pantoja in the cage. It was an incredible moment.
It's a great build-up. This guy's like his fight career. If it were to end after this night, like if for some reason he didn't win or he retired, I mean it's a pretty good fucking run, man.
Absolutely. And look, dude, Joshua Van, I saw him on Hawani recently, and he was like, I don't really have a game plan for this fight. I'm just gonna go in there and I'm gonna fight and I'm gonna do my thing. And a lot of people were making fun of him, but like, oh man, that's just Josh Van. Like, if you don't know Josh Van, that's just Josh Van, dude. He's not impervious to losing. He's 24. He's lost a couple times. He lost to our boy Charles Johnson before, but you could see him level up after that loss. And according to the current betting odds, I'm gonna throw it out there. Alexandre Pantoja is a -265. Joshua Van coming back as a +205, which I feel like is pretty accurate. Joshua Van still, as much as I like him, there's still a lot of question marks, especially about his grappling specifically, as well as his 5-round stamina. I mean, he didn't really have problems in 3, but it is one thing for a guy with such high output to have to go those extra 10 minutes. That's another big variable. What do you think about this fight, man?
I mean, dude, this is excellent. I mean, this is great. You got a young talent, a guy who's here in a position to make history, be the 2nd youngest champion ever. Can't beat John Jones' records anymore, but hey, man, like, when are we ever going to see this again? When are we going to find a guy who's in this age range or even who's even possibly close to beat that record? Who knows? But we're blessed enough to have it. And not even just that, but the fact that his opponent is so fucking good. Like, if he were to do it, he'd be doing it against the 2nd best flyweight of all time. You know what I mean? Like, just that, too, would be amazing. And who knows, if he does it, who knows how crazy the reign's going to be. And look, in my opinion, this fight, I mean, and I feel like they're going to be, this and the next fight, my approach to be kind of the same. For me, I think Pantoja needs to fight his game, not fight on the feet, take the shit to the ground, and submit this motherfucker. For Van, stay off the ground, knock this fucker out. A guy who has a lifetime of damage, 35 fights, this will be his 36th professional fight. Guy's a vet. He knows how to stay in a fight. He knows how to stay competitive. He knows what he needs to do to win. Pantoja's going to do everything in there to maintain that belt. He's not going to take any big risk. At this stage of his career, he knows what he needs to do to keep that title. For Van, all the risks need to be on him. He needs to take these big chances. He takes these big opportunities. If it's the 4th and 5th round and this guy's down 3-4 cards on the scorecast, I need to see this kid plant his feet and throw everything that he's got and not get taken down again. He needs to take big risks and big chances. I know he still has a long time, but you're not going to ever have another opportunity to write your story just like this ever again. But I do think Pantoja's going to capture I think he's going to get another title defense.
That's the way I feel. I think this is such a.
Don't get me wrong, though.
You built it up well.
I could see the Van Ice knockout, which would be the most. I could see us going crazy at the house for it already.
I can already see it in my head.
But it'd be so hurt. Like, I'm conflicted, man, because I don't know what I like more. I don't know if I want the continuation of Pantoja, or I want to see that Josh Van like generational moment, because it's I'm gonna witness history if he wins.
Yeah, dude. Like I think this is such a interesting fight. It's compelling. I think I can see Josh Van winning in my head. I can see him landing, just feinting with the left, going with the overhand right, putting him down. Pantoja has taken so many big shots. And, dude, there are chins that don't crack, but it's because they get out of the game. Habib's chin never cracked. He left the game early. John Jones, he left the game. He doesn't want to get cracked by a guy like Tom Aspinall. He knows what that's going to be. It's true.
I like how you just had to get that in there.
Oh, I can't help myself. But jokes aside, there's a lot of guys who, like, if people talk about, like, oh, they're just certain uncrackable chins. Yeah, because they leave the game early. You know what I mean? I feel like that's generally the case. Pantoja, he's taken so much damage. So can I see Josh Van winning this fight? Yes, I can. I can see him easily just landing. And the reality is that he's a guy with great cardio. We have seen him. We haven't seen him 5-round cardio, but we've seen him for 3 rounds that Brandon Royval fight. Like, he stepped up on 3 weeks' notice, and they threw like an insane amount of strikes. Point being,
that's that youth right there, bro.
Yep, 24 years old. For a guy that I've not seen his ground game like almost at all,
And when he did get taken down.
Yeah, I can't pick him. I just can't. I mean, Alexandre Pantoja, like, this is a guy that he can brawl on the feet, incredible chin, 5-round cardio, and also just a motherfucker on the mat. And he's not a grappler in the form of like Khamzat Chimaev, where he can take you down and hug you for 25 minutes. I'm sorry to make fun of Chimaev, but like that's essentially what that Dricus fight was. Just belly to belly control, not really, belly to back control, and not really like separating to try and, give him any chance to breathe. By virtue of that, he also didn't really have any potential for a finish. Pantoja's going to open up on you. He's going to land some big shots. He's going to look for that sub. I remember whenever he first getting the title shot years ago, before people were, whenever the title was, hey, let's watch Moreno and Figgy fight 4 times in a row. And Pantoja was just...
They were all so good.
And they were all so good, but Pantoja was just killing the rest of the division at that point, and they weren't giving him the title shot. I remember, like, he faced Alex Perez and, like, immediately hopped on him, got the back, choked him out in, like, 30 seconds. And I was like, God, that guy is the cannibal. And I think he's going to do the same thing here. I have Alexandre Pantoja probably by submission. I think for a guy, like I said, there's so many questions about his defense on the mat. We haven't really seen him taken down much. So I just can't. And again, like, I think Joshua Van's so good on the feet.
He's a live dog. He's such a live dog.
He's such a live dog. I feel like Pantoja's been favored heavily his last few fights. Like, I bet I can look this up actually real quickly just to give you an idea of. Yeah, here we go. So in terms of his recent betting odds, he was more of a favorite against Kai Kara France. He was less of a favorite against Kai Sakura, but that's probably just because of the question marks. He was a bigger favorite against Steve Erceg. Like, the betting odds and the fan base are giving Joshua Van that respect in terms of the odds, but I just don't think he's gonna get it done. It should be a fun fight though. But God, dude, this is such a fucking delight for the fans, man. If you're a real MMA fan, you're hyped for this card because this main card, there's so many good fights on it. And it's targeting the flyweights and the bantamweights, the little guys specifically. We're going to have another flyweight banger, Brandon Moreno, Tatsuro Taira. Brandon Moreno, we know this story, one of the all-time greats. Still only 31 years old, but just kind of crazy when you think about it.
Fuck, right?
The assassin baby who's been a contender now for, it'll be 10 years in next October. 10 years. So insane to think about.
Fire.
Literally fire. Actually, I think he came in through tough, so it might actually be 10 years. No, it'll be 10 years in August. Apologies. But he has won 2 in a row. Steve Erceg, Amir Albazi. Happy to see Brandon Moreno get back on track after he lost a couple in a row after losing the belt. He's taking on Tatsuro Taira. Tatsuro Taira, the first and only fighter in the UFC as of now to be born in the 2000s and win the UFC main event. Fun stat for you. He's 25 years old. Out of Okinawa, 17-1. Only lost a split decision to Brandon Royval. Very close fight.
Only one born in 2000?
Yeah. To win a main event. Not a fight.
Oh, okay.
Because, I mean,
I was
Josh Van's,
I was thinking about Chiwiwis too, and I was like, wait.
Yeah, no. To win a main event, like Josh Van's like born the around the time we were. So
he's a 2002, I believe.
He's 01.
He's
October 01. Yeah. So shout out all the 01.
I remember they were talking on MK. They're like, dude, this guy wasn't even born. Like 9/11 had already happened. You know what I mean?
Hey man. I remember that. I remember that day very well. I was in the crib and I was just,
like, what's gonna happen with America?
Oh God. Oh God, they hit the Pentagon. Like I was just losing my shit. Anyway, so very excited for this flyweight banger. Tatsuro Taira, Brandon Moreno, current betting line according to our folks over at Betting GM. Tatsuro Taira, a -120, slight favorite. Brandon Moreno +100. What do you think about those betting odds, bro?
Dude, that's throw the house on Moreno, bro.
Yeah, I mean, I'm very surprised he's a
for
dog
me.
here.
Like I said, I think similar approach to the last fight. For Brandon, keep this fight on the feet. Do not play jiu-jitsu with this guy. That's if you do wrestle, stay on top. Take minimum. I feel like if Tara does win, he's gonna have to catch him in some submission. Genuinely, I don't think he'll catch him on the feet. I could see Brandon just saucing him up on the feet and getting him out of there, dude. Honestly, beating him up. Genuinely. I do think these odds are a little fucked up here. I think Brandon should be the favorite. This is actually probably my favorite bet of the night on this card.
I completely agree with you. Look, man, I really like Tatsuro Taira a lot. The reality is, though, I haven't seen him against enough actual high level competition in order to feel comfortable picking him here. And also the fact that Brandon Moreno is an underdog is stunning to me. Literally stunning. I'm speechless. Because man, that'd be my bet of the night if I had to give one out. I would take a Brandon Moreno here. I think he has more high level experience. And again, I think this is another fight similar to Joshua Van, where it's like, can Tatsuro Taira go out there and shock us? And he is a live dog, absolutely. But I think you're betting on youth a lot here.
Way more than Van.
I think so too. Like I feel like you saw against Brandon Royval. Like he's good, but he's not all the way. He's not a finished project, and that's fine. He's 25. Like it's okay, but he's not a finished project. There's still holes in his game, specifically in the striking. And I think Brandon Moreno is good enough to keep the fight there. And I think he knows, like, he's very active too, and especially in a 3-rounder.
And he's a good grappler. If he wasn't a good grappler, I think this is a completely different conversation.
Absolutely. But he's good enough to keep that fight on the feet. He's good enough to keep the fight on the feet and maybe even take down, Tyra himself. Like, he's genuinely a very well-rounded guy.
He could submit Tyra.
Absolutely. He's very, very good. So I feel like they're betting on the youth of Tajo Tyra here. That's the only reason I can think of him being a favorite. So I'm going to take Brandon Moreno. But this next one is even more compelling to me.
Moreno money line, boys.
Moreno money line. 38-year-old Henry Cejudo. Lost 3 in a row.
I'm conflicted about this fight.
I'm also very conflicted about this fight. He's ranked number 10. This is going to be his retirement fight. One of the all-time greats who, if we're being honest here, should have been a lot greater in terms of his all-time ranking.
Should have not retired.
Should have never retired the first time around.
Should have gave us C4, honestly, to UFC. You guys did fuck up as well.
Yeah, I would have really liked to see that Volk fight. I don't think it would have won, but it would have.
But it's just the fact that it would have been such a big fight. All that shit would have been on the line. The history.
Yeah.
They could have built it up, dude. You're telling me they couldn't have sold that shit to the public, especially at that time with how big fighting was, because it would have been post-bid era and all that, like, or it was in the middle of the bid, like,
yeah,
right, like they could have made such a big deal out of that. Like they could have made like Volk's fame and Cejudo's fame could be infinitely bigger because of that if that fight would have occurred.
I agree with you, and I think I think it was a missed opportunity by them. You don't get opportunities for you don't get situations like that often. And he was so hot at that point, dude. Like he beat Dominic Cruz, he beat TJ Dillashaw, he beat Mighty Mouse. Like that's talk about generational runs at the top with Merab. Like that was a generational run.
That peak was really good. I will say the TJ one's a little, because it was TJ at 125, not 135.
Yeah, but it was also like TJ on, EPO. So what are you gonna do?
It was TJ on EPO, but at the same time though, I was like, we know that's not the best version of that fight.
I'm just kidding. Yeah, but I mean, he still had an incredible run. But he's taking on Peyton Talbot. We like Peyton Talbot here. We are noted Peyton Talbot fans. Very fun fight style. 27 years old. In the booth all the time with Frankie Ocean. And look, man, I mean, he's not very. You know why the UFC paired these two together? You know what I mean? Like they're big names, and Peyton needs a big win. On the opposite end, if Cejudo wins, like awesome, cool retirement fight, good moment. Peyton Talbot has a come forward aggressive style, so it should be fun regardless. Current line, it's another surprising one. I don't know about you. Minus 300 Peyton Talbot.
I think those are way too wide.
Plus 240 Henry Cejudo, 3-1, and that's shocking to me. Give me your thoughts. Give me your pick. I mean, I'm really back and forth on this one. I
mean, I'm leaning Cejudo, and I'm not saying that's an intelligent pick by any means.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you look at the people who Cejudo's lost, and look at the person who Peyton Talbot lost to. You know what I mean? Like, no disrespect here. There's levels to this shit. You know what I mean? Yeah. And this is an older version of Cejudo, but this is also a former champion. This is a guy who's still stuck it in there for 5 rounds against a guy who's in the main event. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Could Peyton Talbot stick in there for 5 rounds against Merab Dvalishvili? I'm not quite sure.
Yeah.
And granted, doing some MMA math there, but it's just my opinion. I don't know. I think Cejudo's live here, live dog. Genuinely, he might win this one. I think if he's still like, dude, dude, if he's like a quarter of himself in there and he comes in good health, I mean, he has a decent game plan. Like, fuck it, I think it's Cejudo all day.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, look, dude. I think
the way Peyton Talbot wins this specific matchup, I just don't know if he'll be able to get away with that against Cejudo. Like the way he likes to win and he wants to win fights, I just don't know if he'll be able to get away with that with Henry. With a different guy, maybe, but not this guy.
Exactly. Yeah, he's very aggressive, very come forward, and I think you laid it out there, and I do think sometimes it is this simple. Like we haven't seen Peyton Talbot fight anybody even in the top 15.
And dude, he fought an older vet too, like
Honey Barcelos loss. So it's like,
yeah, Honey Barcelos is not young either.
And like, granted, that was a loss that's aged better because Ione's been killing it. But at the same time, it's like we've already seen you lose to one older veteran who's shorter than you, and like.
I wonder how Honey Barcelos fucking Cejudo we got now.
He might beat him. I mean, Cejudo's looked bad, but he's also not looked that bad. Like he was having a close fight with Song Yadong before everything happened. He beat Merab in the early parts of that fight. Like you can make a case that he beat Aljo. It was a split decision. Like. He's had 3 losses since he came back, but all 3 fights you can be like he's 1 or 2 adjustments from being 3-0. Like it's literally that simple.
And like I said, the level. Like
yeah,
look at the level. It's not like he's losing to. I hate to say it, but Peyton Talbot. You know what I mean?
He's not losing to Ioane Barcelos. Yeah,
and that too. You know what I mean? Like it's not like he's losing to these lower caliber names. It'd be a completely different conversation if this guy was losing to unranked bantamweights or the lower end of bantamweight. This guy's losing to the pinnacle of this division, the hardest division in the UFC.
Exactly.
At advanced age.
Yeah. And I do think it's 50-50 because for me, I think Peyton Talbot, like guys do level up all the time. Just because like you haven't seen them face that top level doesn't mean they're going to, like they have to break through.
Sometimes it's the opportunity, right? Like
exactly.
you give the guy opportunity to get the win.
And this is a really good opportunity for him, but I just haven't seen enough at this point to feel comfortable picking him, so I'm going to take Henry Cejudo. I still think Cejudo is good. I feel like people underrate him because of the losses, but again, that's looking at it on paper. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
You have to actually watch those fights, and when you actually watch fights, like, okay, well, you know, like he was a little bit more active against Aljo. You know, maybe he would have won. He won the first round against Merab. Maybe if he keeps up the gas tank, he measures it a little bit better. He could have won round 2. It was a 3-round fight. You know
also,
people,
I don't think people realize how intelligent like Henry's a really intelligent fighter. Like he has.
I think you'd argue he's a more intelligent coach than he's a fighter, though.
You might make a good point there, but I mean, I don't know.
There was a moment with Fight Ready where he was just.
Oh yeah, I mean, I'd have to maybe reel that in, but I think he does it. I think his game planning can be really good at times.
That's a good way to put it. He's a great game planner.
His game now execution, maybe that's a different story, right?
Yeah,
but I think when he comes to a fight, he comes prepared, he comes well informed, and this guy's a top level athlete. I mean, this guy was an Olympic, gold medalist. You know?
Yeah, agreed.
I mean, this is the highest level. This is one of the highest level athletes we'll ever see in the UFC. There's no doubt about it.
Oh, 100%. 100%. So we're in agreement there. But opening up the main card, we'll move one down. Jan Blachowicz, Bogdan Guskov. Another old man versus a younger cat, man. Jan's lost 2 in a row, but very, very close fights. Carl Silberg, Alex Bahia. A lot of people thought he beat Bahia. That was like Bahia's closest fight for a long time at light heavy. Bogdan Guskov, 33, but he's won 4 in a row, all by finish since losing to Volkan Oezdemir in his debut. I'm torn about it, and according to the current line, like it's another one where it's like close odds, -135 for Jan, +110 for Bogdan. I'm just gonna cut it straight into it. I think Jan Blachowicz is gonna get the job done, man. I think people are sleeping on him. 42 years old, but he's looked good for 42.
I think we'll see, man. We'll see how much he has left because I could see him like really having to dog it out, but it's just because he's 42 and he's so old and he's had so many injuries. But I could be wrong. He might come in there and give us like a solid performance, maybe ice Bogdan or some shit.
But if there's a guy who's gonna dog it out, I think it's gonna be Jan Blachowicz, man.
Yeah.
I mean, that crossover fight showed me like that ended like a 2-year layoff, and he had injuries. Can he have
a Glover run?
I don't think he's gonna have a Glover run. I don't think he's gonna have a Glover run.
Could he though?
Could he like win a fight here and then maybe get himself to a title eliminator or win that? I could see him getting back to a title shot. Maybe. I'm not gonna rule it out. I mean, it's a weird division.
It's 205. That's literally the only reason.
Yeah,
why.
literally. Like it's such a weird division.
It is Jan Blachowicz.
It's Jan Blachowicz.
That's what I'm saying. Like, and you also look at the performance. Like, they're not bad.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like, and I like Bogdan.
He's short. He's definitely short of something.
Yeah. And like I like No Ho Hank. I really, really do. And he's won, you know, I don't even know if you get that reference, but No. Okay, never mind. Haven't seen Barry then. Okay.
No, I haven't yet.
Yeah, okay, well fine. Anthony Smith. I like Anthony Smith a lot. But dude, the wins are a Krylov who is older and really struggling, Billy Alenka, Ryan Spann, and Zach Balga.
Yeah.
I mean, not a single top 10, top 12.
Ryan Spann, who moved up to heavyweight, Zach Balga, who watched out of the UFC.
Yeah, like, so, just haven't seen the performances.
Krylov was a good win, though. Yeah.
That was a good win. But Krylov has also lost, like, what, 3 or 4 in a row this point?
Yeah.
You take a look at the undercard. There's some stuff to like. There is some stuff to like. Grant Dawson, Manuel Torres. I like that at 155. Still a big Grant Dawson fan. I still think there's potential there. Terrence McKinney, Chris Duncan are going to kill each other. They're going to straight up kill each other. Very excited for that. Macy Barber, Kareem Silva. By the way, winner potentially getting a title shot.
Macy, I didn't know how insanely long the layoff's been. It's like pushing 2 years, right?
It is. Well, remember, she was supposed to fight Erin Blanchfield, I believe, and she had a seizure right before her walkout. That was the card. Yeah, that was ended up being Gamrot Klein as the main event.
Jesus.
Yeah. Wow. She's been hospitalized a couple of different times, like since fighting. So
that's not good.
No, it's not. Kind of concerning. But
she's only 27 too.
Well, she's won 6 in a row, and she like if she can stay healthy, like she's still really good. You know, like and Kareem Silva has like won like I mean she lost to Vivian Argero, but she's won like 7 of her last 8 or something like that, something crazy. So excited for this one.
Macy got to lock in though.
Macy does have to lock in,
and she has time, but.
Yeah, I mean, I would love to see, you know, if she wins in dominant fashion, she could get a title shot. It's up in the air at 125 right now. I mean, it's kind of a weird moment with Shevchenko and everything. Nazim Sadikov, Fares Zayam, it's all right. Marvin Vettori is back against Bruno Ferreira. Marvin Vettori needs a win, by the way.
It's like must win.
4 out of his last 5 in 3 in a row.
This will officially push him out of the mid pack. He's been one of those guys who've ever been able to hold his spot, and now he's having to fight to hold his spot down like 100%.
Which is crazy to me because he's only 32, man. I never thought he would be one of these guys that just falls off like this. But
I mean, there's a number of factors. I mean, this year he lost his brother in a house fire, which was fucking terrible, and then fought not too long afterwards. And I think that was a factor, and I don't think he should have fought.
Of course, yeah.
And he's back now, and hopefully maybe he's in a better mental state. Maybe he's kind of inspired, kind of wants to dedicate his fight to his brother. And pull something out here. Bruno Ferreira is is a power puncher, 185er, but relatively undersized too for the division.
Yeah.
So Vittori has a hell of a chin, but at the same time though, like if it gets cracked here, fuck, dude.
If he gets cracked here, it's like
it might be over.
Really
like not in it. Like life is not in like a very good emotional state. You get knocked out. You're on a losing streak. You're on the verge of losing your ranking. Like it's gonna look very tough there to come out of that hole.
Literally. And at that point,
I mean, this is must win for Marvin Vittori.
Must win. So. We'll see what he does. Edson Barboza taking on Jalen Turner.
Came out of retirement.
Jalen Turner, the former retired Jalen Turner. I'm excited for him to be back, man. I mean, I think we talked about this whenever he did retire, but like it seemed like a case of this guy needs a break. He's very, very young. We know the talent's there, but just a couple of mistakes here and there. Like he got himself into brawls that maybe he shouldn't have.
I'm conflicted about the matchup because it is old Edson Barboza.
I know, and I love Edson Barboza, but I mean,
and we've said this on the show a few times throughout our like time of having the show over the years. It's like Edson Barboza is your favorite fighter's favorite fighter,
dude. Yeah, literally.
Like there's so many fighters who like say they like fucking Edson Barboza a lot.
Well, and I've said that he's not gotten credit, and I think part of it is because he did move down to featherweight for like 3 years or whatever.
He looked good though. I think if he did featherweight at the start of his career, it would have been a different story.
Like, I agree with you, but my point is like he was in that tier of just banger lightweights. Like people throw in the Poiriers, the Gaethjes, Chandler, you know what I mean, even Hooker in there. But like, dude, you look at some of like. He fought Cowboy. He fought Bobby Green. He fought MJ. He fought Paul Felder. He fought Tony Ferguson, Pettis, Dariush, Melendez, Khabib, Kevin Lee, Dan Hooker, like Gaethje. Like he fought so many incredible guys, had put on so many bangers. So I feel like he doesn't really get the respect he deserves. He
turns 40 next month, dude. This guy needs to retire.
And I think this will be his last fight.
As it should be.
Yeah, I think it will be. Win, lose, or draw. And I think he could beat Jalen Turner. But gun to my head, I would not pick him. Also on the undercard, Ibo Aslan and taking on Ivo Baranowski, 27-year-old.
I like how it's a 1-letter difference.
Yeah, I know, dude. I was like, am I tripping right now? 6-0, decent prospect, former judoka, I believe. So out of Poland, excited to see him. Mansour Abdul Malik taking on Antonio Ciccoli. Like that one a lot, man.
Banger.
Yep. And then opening up the card for the way Muhammad Nayev taking on Myron.
If it was illegal, that's the first fight of the night because it's so good. It's a really good matchup.
That is. Excited for this card, though, man. It is a card that we talk about sometimes, like, does it have the star power? Not necessarily, but on paper, this is one of the deeper cards I feel like they've had. Like, to close out the year, like, this is a really fun one.
By the way, no fights were lost in the making of this card. Yep. Like, I looked on Tapology, like, nothing has been granted.
And this was a makeshift card, too. Like, they only announced these fights, like, a month ago?
Yeah.
Month and a half? Like,
granted, weight has not been made yet. Guys haven't walked into the octagon. Things could still happen, but I think everybody should be fine. I think we'll be good. I think these guys can't fuck up. It's the end of the year. They need to make a good impression, especially going into this new Paramount era.
Absolutely.
That it's crazy. It's kind of crazy though how we're just gonna get thrown into it, dude. Like we're literally gonna go from boom, done with ESPN to Paramount.
Exactly. Well, we do have like what? I don't think their first card is until
like mid-January.
So it's a little bit
pretty typical though for the UFC.
They do take off. I saw people freaking out, like, "Oh my god, there's gonna be the 6 weeks without UFC." Like, I feel like they always.
Well, it's like, dude, like we're gonna have New Year's and Christmas, bro. Like, I get it.
Yeah, I feel like they always take off like 3 or 4 weeks. Like, maybe not 6, but they take off a few weeks at the start of the year. They do that. Like, they did that last year.
It's fine, guys. It's fine.
Exactly. Anyways,
it'll be worth the wait.
Speaking of the Paramount era, Dana White went on the halftime show during the Chiefs-Cowboys game, which, how do you lose to the Cowboys?
At least Josh is hypercritical of his team, guys. You can't hate him for.
I'm a homer because I like to talk shit, but I'm also not unrealistic. Like I told you, like 2 weeks ago, like if we don't win out, we're not making the playoffs.
Dude, like I told you, I like fooling myself, so at least I'm like, there's still a chance. You know what I mean? Like we can get 11.
I mean, we
can get 11-6.
We could, but this is a really strong AFC this year, dude. Like we're not making it in. Anyways,
yeah, dude, that's what you think.
I hope I'm wrong.
I hope so, dude. Who do we play this week? The Texans.
I don't even know. Once we lost to the Cowboys, I zeroed in on the Sooners and the Thunder. I'm like, I don't care about the Chiefs.
Granted,
dude, we played the Houston Texans.
Granted, I will say, dude, we gotta have like a relative amount of hope because injuries happen. The world is crazy. Are we favored?
Yeah,
no,
but I mean, it would take a lot for us to make it now. Now we're gonna need some help. We're gonna need some help now. Like, Jesus Christ, like we're behind the Steelers. We're behind the Texans. Like, it's not good. It's not good at all.
I will say, dude, our schedule still though was demonically hard.
No, it is. But we also made the Super Bowl 3 times in a row.
Oh yeah, that too.
So
that too can't hit.
We can't get that Patriots schedule. We can't get that Broncos schedule. You know?
Yeah.
Anyways, Jesus Christ, the Chicago Bears are number 1 in the NFC.
Dude, yeah, that one threw me off. They got like I forgot who they got. They beat the Eagles. That's what it was.
They did. They beat the Eagles.
Dude, I didn't watch that game, but I was like, what?
They are. I mean, I knew they were good this year, but like they have been quietly rising up. For all the shit people talk about Caleb Williams, and like now nobody's talking.
And they had like some injuries here and there too. Like, and I think Caleb Williams was even out for a game if I remember right. I could be wrong about that.
I believe maybe got hurt and played, but yeah.
I know they had like a couple injuries throughout the year. That
shout out, but Caleb Williams, I love that cat, bro. Honestly, straight up, because of the amount of he's the Peyton Talbot of the NFL. Outside of, like, he's not nearly as pretty, but he does paint his nails. You know, that's not even being mean. Just
that guy lie. I thought you didn't say he's not nearly as pretty.
I said fruity, bro.
No, you said pretty.
All right, well, whatever. He's not a looker like Peyton Talbot, bro. No. Anyway, so the Paramount era, guys. UFC 324 announced by Dana White during the Thanksgiving game. Didn't really announce like the full card, but announced multiple fights for the main card for UFC.
We know what the fuck we're getting.
UFC 324. Justin Gaethje, Paddy Pimblett, interim title in the main event. It's worth noting earlier in the day, ELYXR came out and said like, "Hey, due to some personal stuff going on in my life," didn't say it, a divorce. Presumably, that's what everybody's assuming. I'm not going to be fighting. I told the UFC like, you can, do what you got to do,
which is cool.
Belt, which is good. Respect. I tip it. But this fight makes no sense. The fact that we just watched Arman Sarukian maul Dan Hooker and without a doubt establish himself as the number 1 contender in the division. And instead we're getting, dude, like, Jesus Christ, like, it's 4 versus 5. When you put it in those terms for the interim title, it kind of sounds ridiculous. Charles Oliveira and Max Holloway are also ranked low.
Justin Gaethje's fighting for another interim title. I might fight for another title.
We're going to have 3 belts in this division: the BMF, the interim, and the lightweight title.
That's crazy.
That is absurd, dude. Come on.
What do you mean gold, silver, and bronze, bro?
My God, dude. And if he wins, Justin Gaethje will be the first and only 2-time interim champion in UFC history. Not a stat you want to hold, I think.
Unfortunately not, right?
And I like Justin, and I'll give him credit. I mean, got to be the first guy to ever wind himself into a title shot. I mean, he's I'm kidding. Colby Covington's right there. But I mean, it's just, and the worst part is that like if they would have booked this fight before Arman fought Dan Hooker, I told you this in the pre-show, like I don't think it would be as big of a deal. I think everybody would be like, oh, cool, kind of, if they're not gonna fight, they probably should wait for Arman versus Dan, but yeah, it's fun, like. Instead, they waited until after Arman secured the title shot in the eyes of everybody but the UFC, and then they booked this fight.
And on top of that, it also just makes it clear that Arman might not fight till like late December for the title. Yeah. He might have to take another one in between for activity.
Yeah, and at a certain point, like, and I see some people try to defend it. They're like, well, Arman pulled out of the title fight when it was supposed to happen against Islam. It's like, dude, how many times did that happen? And it happens all the time. That's how fighting works. Guys get hurt. They have bad weight cuts. Shit happens. I mean, Jesus Christ. Like, they oh my God, dude. Like, it's ridiculous. Anyways, in terms of the fight itself, it'll be compelling. Paddy Pimblett leaves the chin out in the open, and Justin Gaethje does not have takedown defense or submission defense. So, in that way, both guys are very, very beatable. It should be a fun fight for however long it lasts.
Just bleed. But
it is kind of crazy that they got Paddy Pimblett into a title shot without facing basically any relevant UFC lightweight challenger.
They did, dude, and they did it in a way where like it works. It's so villainous. It works.
Yeah, like he beat Chandler, but like Chandler had lost 3 in a row before that. Like, are we fucking
the way they did it, bro? Like, sneaky fuckers. They did it though. They did it in a way though where it doesn't like seem like. Well, you're like, you can like fucking do some mental fucking.
I mean, Jesus Christ, dude. This is the resume. Chandler, Bobby Green, Tony Ferguson, Jared Gordon, which I think everybody
out of context though, like those first three don't sound bad, but with context,
when you remember, oh my god, it's 2025. It's not 2015.
You remember that's Tony Ferguson who just had gotten iced several times before that, and by Bobby Green.
Yeah, and then before that, he essentially lost to Jared Gordon. For being honest, Jordan Levitt, Rodrigo Vargas, and Luigi Vendramini. That's it. That's crazy to get a title shot with that resume, dude. Like, honestly, that's kind of fucking nutty. I'm not even gonna lie. Like, and even just comparing it to Armand, Dan Hooker, Charlie Alves, Benil Dariush, Joaquin Silva, Demiros.
Incomparable.
Even if you include going beyond the loss to Gamrot, because I did the same for Patty, Joel Alvarez, Cristiano Gagos, Matt Frivola, Debbie Ramos, and Olivier Aubameyang, OAM. It's ridiculous. I mean, and the worst part is, like I said, if they would have booked this fight beforehand, I don't think I would have had as big of an issue with it. But you just made me watch Arman Saruki improve himself, and now you're like, actually, you know what? Fuck him. That fight didn't even matter. Actually, fuck it. It's like, okay, cool.
But dude, it's because like, when is he gonna? He's gonna have to take an in between. It doesn't even, because think about it. They're fighting in January.
Yeah.
Let's say they fight let's say Ilya's ready 5 months later. I mean, it will be midway into the year.
Yeah.
You know.
And dude, like, Ilya is not. Let's be honest here. Like, now with the way UFC books their guys, their top guys fight once a year. So if you're Armand, like, hey man, what do you do next January? That's your time.
And who does he realistically like make sense to fight? There's no
Max. But Max is
probably gonna fight Oliveira though.
That's what I'm saying. Like, there's not really.
And if Oliveira wins, are they gonna run back Oliveira Saryukin in a 5-rounder?
I mean, you could do the Gamrot rematch, maybe.
But Gamrot's coming off a loss, right? He lost to Oliveira.
That's right.
Oliveira beat him in Brazil, which was fucking
BSD number 7.
But why would you do that fight though? You know what I mean?
That's the problem. I don't know.
They put this is fucked, and partially like because of Ilya, which and life happens. It is what it is. You know what I mean? And he was mature enough to be like, hey, like I'm not gonna be back anytime soon. You know, find someone. To kind of hold the crown for a minute.
It's what it is. I will talk with the co-main because co-main is excellent. Man. Amanda Nunes, Kayla Harrison finally happening. I thought this was one for the White House card, honestly, because the return of a legend, the GOAT, taking on Kayla Harrison.
But Kayla said it to in an interview. She's like, it might be sooner than what you think. And it was way sooner.
It was way sooner than we thought. And I got to say, this is a co-main event. Feels mad disrespectful. That's all I'm gonna say. I mean,
greatest MMA fighter of all time
versus
maybe one of the greatest female athletes of all time to compete in.
And
MMA.
I mean, Kayla Harrison's on her growth path as well. Already multiple time PFL champion, now UFC champion. Like,
there's history here. There's a story.
Okay, let's just say this: there's never a women's title fight may never headline another UFC pay-per-view unless it's a desperate need. Because if you can't put this over an interim title fight, what else are you gonna do? Genuinely. In terms of the rest of the card, Sean O'Malley, Song Yudong, I like it. Waldo Cortez Acosta with Derek Lewis,
fucking banger.
Arnold Allen, Gene Silva,
MMA boner.
Yep. Umar Nurmagomedov, Davison Figueroa, which is like, dude, what are you doing? What are you doing, dude? Are you kidding me?
They're just trying to keep him active, dude.
I mean, Davison coming off a split decision win, but like, he did not even. I mean,
that was low activity Montel Jackson.
Yeah, he looked washed. Jesus. And then Alexa Grasso, Rose Namajunas.
Which people were kind of hating on that fight, but that shit's kind of fire.
I like that fight. I don't know why people would hate on that. Personally, I don't understand that. But yeah, I like it a lot. How about UFC 325? If you don't like the main event of UFC 324, don't worry.
A week later,
UFC 325 in Australia, Alexander Volkanovski again taking on Diego Lopez.
All I can say is this is fucking disgusting.
This is the worst fight booking in a long time, and we just talked about how bad Patty Gaethje was.
By the way, it's pretty much clear at this point. This has to be Volk's retirement fight. There's no way it isn't, right?
Yeah, I mean, it has to be. I mean, he said like he wanted to fight. It was crazy. He said multiple times, like, I want to stay active. I want to fight multiple times in 2025, and then have one final fight in 2026.
Dude, he said the other guys was deserving. Dude, he said Mozart and Lerone were more deserving than fucking
dude. The fact
Diego.
that the champion's like, dude, I don't really want this fight. Like, it speaks volumes.
I already beat this guy. Like, why am I fighting this guy?
Not even just beat him. Like, it was a banger, but like he won 4 rounds. Like, it wasn't that close.
And it's not like there's an argument of like the other two guys don't make sense because of X and Y and whatever reason.
Timing and yada yada yada.
No. Lerone Murphy gave you a key highlight moment that you needed out of him. Mozart's been waiting. That fight should have been happened. I feel like now they're gonna give us Mozart, Lerone, and a fucking title eliminator.
They are.
Or that might, you know something? Wait.
They might even put that.
You know something? UFC might not be stupid here. Hold up. I might just cook it in my head. if Volk wins and he retires, the title would then be vacant, right?
Correct, and then you do a Lerone.
You could then do Lerone Mozart main event, which granted though at the same time though,
but here's the thing. They're not going to do that.
If they don't do, they're
not gonna do
going
that.
to be like Diego Lopez versus fucking
Yair Rodriguez. I'm already I can see the future, and they're going to book Lerone versus Mozart in the meantime.
Dude, they might. What if Gian Silva wins it?
They might do him.
They might do Gian Silva fucking Lerone Murphy, dude.
Dude, the UFC titles are never less than they do right
I would say.
I love.
I would say if they do cook in this scenario where it is like Volk wins and he loses and Diego loses, and it's like okay, Mozart Lerone as a fucking title fight, give him credit. But if it doesn't go like that, if it does not go like that, that's really, I mean, I guess it's whatever because Volk retired, but it's like the other two guys should have had this opportunity then. The guard should have been given to the guys who deserve to be in that position.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man. Jesus.
I get it. Volk is retiring, but I even said, do you remember last year when I said
but who cares?
Not last year, but this year or a few months ago, I was like, you know something? They should be like, hey, Volk, we want your next fight to be your last, which I think they might have done now. It kind of seems like they lean that way, or maybe he said it. Who knows? But they should be like, Volk, we want you to main event in December, and you know something? We want you to retire. Like, we're just gonna be honest. We want you to retire. We're gonna pay out the rest of your contract. How many fights you have left, and we want you to fight Lerone, and whatever happens. We just want you to retire after this. You kind of want to retire. We want to progress to the division. We'll call it there. You're at the end of your career. You're a legend. You don't got to do anything else. You're 2-time champion at this point. So be it. That's what they should have done.
Yeah. Instead, we're going to get to watch a rematch of a fight that I don't think too many people wanted to see. And the worst part is that the first fight was very, very fun, but it wasn't very competitive. Diego won one round. So.
And granted, Diego might come in here and fight how Diego likes to fight.
And maybe Volk's declined a lot in that year, and that was another war, and there's only so much a chin could take. But, yeah, I don't like it. I hate it.
He deserved a fresh face.
Yeah. So, really, the news section, actually thinking about it, all of it's kind of negative. Katie Taylor, this is the next one up. This one is so funny. Dude, I've been pushing the idea, but mostly it's like a joke, because I know you're like, dude, it's not going to fucking happen. Now it's like, it might actually happen.
For 6 years straight.
No, not for 6 years. She only started training, like, earlier this
year. I feel like you mentioned Ronda before that, though, even without the training, where you're like,
maybe I spoke into existence.
I think because before I swear before you started training, you mentioned like the idea of like bringing Ronda back or having Ronda in some sort of way.
Yeah, well, maybe. But point being, she did return to training earlier this year. I looked up the tweet because I remember I posted something about it. I wanted to get the confirm timing, but she started training earlier this year, and I was like, dude, this is way too much training for nothing. And she was like, like I might fight again, but won't be the White House card, yada yada yada. Well, it seems like she might fight again in a boxing match, which if you've seen Ronda Rousey strike. Specifically in her last few fights.
Head movement.
I
mean, as long as Edmund's not her coach, it can only be better, right?
I know he's not training her anymore, so that's good. But nonetheless.
Maybe she shouldn't be training anybody.
She's reportedly in talks to fight Katie Taylor in a 2026 summer boxing match in Las Vegas. No word if it'd be an exhibition, but apparently Netflix is interested. I'm assuming it wouldn't be an exhibition. Way too much money to be involved. I don't know what to say about it. I mean, I
don't know why she's doing it though. It doesn't feel like
money.
But even then, dude, I'm kind of like, she almost made it sound like money wasn't an object at one point.
Yeah,
for her.
but like everybody says that. But if Netflix came to you with $10 million,
but for years though, she was on that shit though. For years, and she was
that's true.
And I think she even at one point she even dropped the line about like I have way too much money to even spend. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think it's a combination. She probably wants to test herself, and she knows that like the UFC probably won't bring her back. I mean, the UFC, like, for a long time, they've always done that. But, like, in the recent years, you've kind of seen the TKO era, like, they don't want to bring back Jorge Masvidal, who said he wanted to come back. They didn't bring back Cowboy Cerrone. He said he wanted to come back. They didn't give Joe Owens on a retirement fight. They don't let certain people, none of those people have the star power of Ronda Rousey, but they even kind of slow-rolled Connors come back whenever he was trying to fight Chandler. Remember that? It was like a year before. He was like, dude, give me a fight day. Give me a fight day. Give me a fight day. They didn't do it. So it could be a combination of things, but yeah, I mean,
dude, fuck that. Going back to the Cowboy fight, dude. We've talked about this in private.
Yeah, exactly. Like, he wanted to be active. There's been ever since the TKO era, not even TKO, even before that, the WME era, like, they've kind of slow rolled their sort of stars in that way. So maybe she didn't think they'd bring her back. And I remember Dana was asked about it. He didn't really seem interested in her coming back either. So I feel like at that point, it's like Netflix comes to you with millions of dollars and let's be honest here. Like Netflix is in the market of huge boxing matches, even if they don't make sense. They did Jake Paul Tyson,
and people know Ronda.
So. Yeah, they're doing Jake Paul, Anthony Joshua. They did Canelo Crawford, which is obviously a generational fight, but they only want these huge fights. And Katie Taylor, Ronda Rousey. I mean, it's Ronda's washed and old, but one of the MMA goats versus Katie Taylor, one of the boxing goats. I guess you can sell it. People that don't know shit about boxing, they're trying to get that casual market fan base. So to us, it makes no sense, but to like the average mom who doesn't know anything,
they're like,
I remember Ronda Rousey. Yeah, exactly.
And then people who found out who Katie Taylor is
through
now
the Tyson fights, and it'd be a big fight if it were to happen. Katie Taylor said she'd do it, but I don't know.
I got questions about it, but hey, I mean, so be it.
I'll watch it, I guess.
Yeah,
I'll watch it. That's the best thing I could say.
I just hope
it's not as bad as Gervonta Davis, Jake Paul.
we're about to get. Jake
I
Paul versus Josh.
I know. I'm excited.
I know you love that fight.
I actually love it.
That might be your fight of the year.
People who are like, I hate that fight. Why is AJ doing this? Like, dude, you're thinking about this in the wrong way.
You bastard.
Anyways, speaking of heavyweights, this is the last one to wrap up with. Tom Aspinall gave a injury update. And in case you're curious, he got the, I believe, was it an MRI or something? Eye scan? I don't know. I don't know.
I did see the report, but I don't remember the exact.
I don't remember the technical terms. Point being, Tom Aspinall still can't see. Apparently, still failed a couple of vision tests. Is still not cleared to fight. And I believe he's not even cleared to drive a car yet. He got diagnosed with an eye condition. Actually, I want to get the name of it. Brown syndrome. A rare condition where the eye cannot move upwards, particularly when looking inward. People are still attacking him, by the way, which is just
yeah. You know how these fans are, dude.
MMA fans are the worst people on earth.
You know how they are, dude.
Yeah, I mean,
have you seen MMA Guru, dude? I mean, he had to cancel the Mighty and Guru show.
Yeah, I don't know what else to say. But yeah, I mean, it's awful, and I feel like I feel so bad for Tom Aspinall. I mean, to have spent like years, he lost years of his career because of John Jones, and he didn't even end up fighting John Jones. But then he got eye poked and might lose his career anyway.
Do you see it now? Cyril gone, Waldo Cortez Acosta, vacant heavyweight title, dude.
Here's what you're missing. It's going to be John Jones, Alex Bahia for the vacant heavyweight title of the UFC White House.
I hate you.
You can hate all you want, brother. But I've seen the future.
John Jones versus Waldo Cortez Acosta.
That one I'm down for.
Dude, if Derek Lewis iced fucking
that'd be funny. John Jones, Derek Lewis.
Cyril gone?
John Jones said he wanted that fight, dude. He said, I don't want to fight Tom. I'll fight Derek Lewis. Remember that shit?
Cyril gone? Derek Lewis? Question mark. Run it back.
You got anything else you want to talk about before we go ahead?
I don't know, dude. This year is gonna be like a fucking anonymous. Like it's gonna be some weird shit, bro. It's gonna be like we're gonna look back at it and it's like, is this an alternate timeline? Like what happened here? You know? What I mean?
God. Anyways, man. Hope you guys enjoy the show. Hope you enjoy the fights this weekend. Hopefully Tom Aspinall starts to see soon. Yeah.
So he can fight at the White House?
So he can fight at the White House. I'm sure he would love to do that. Anyways, guys. I'm at Josh Soundoff on Twitter. He's at Angel Ortega on Twitter. One at Courtside Soundoff for all things related to the show. Hope you guys enjoyed. Peace.